Ladies and gents, we're going to catch up to live time in this semifinal, okay? Big run in this tournament from Nikov. It's been a long time since I've had Nikov in semifinal in the same conversation, and he's here playing as the Armenians. So not where I actually thought he was going to play this Civ. I still think my prediction is correct, by the way. I still think we are going to see Feudal Age longswords from Nikov. Armenians, they have other bonuses, but if you pick them here, I think you pick them for one reason. We'll see. Nikov's here in the blue. Again, we are just catching up to live time, so slightly faster. And then we've got the Incas here for Yo. And both of these picks have not really been common on this map. We've seen a lot of good scouts civilizations. So we've seen like Romans, we've seen Magyars, we've seen Jurchens, we've seen Huns. So it's pretty cool to see both players change it up a little bit. Now, the nice thing about having a mule cart civilization is you've got the ability to just take the hunt directly next to this mule cart. So maybe in Nikov's mind, he just thinks having the mule cart is helpful. And the only other mule cart civ, the Jurchens, is banned. But I've uploaded some videos about it. I've talked about it a lot. I really think the Feudal Age longsword play is pretty good. But you do have to hit fast. And this is just, it's a combination of having Feudal Age longswords, but also having arson available, which is the recent change. So that would be, that's what I'm hoping for the content. But Nikov could also just open scouts. He could just still play into skirms. I mean, I think I would be a little bit on edge about going for man-at-arms now, because the Incas are always going to open with an archery range. It's always barracks and archery range. They don't have the other option. So against other civs, they might open stable, and then man-at-arms could feel a bit stronger. Yeah, I think Nikov is just going to rush fast feudal here for now. This is not going to be longswords, but it could be. Golds are along the front here. Stone is usually along the front. The berries is always fixated onto the back. And Yo is going to be up a little bit later than Nikov here. As yours says, I faced Feudal Age longsword on the ladder, and it's annoying for sure. Yeah, sorry about that one, dude. I don't know if I could take credit for that, but I've had a lot of people complain and say that I'm the reason that they're dying to strategy, so... it's obviously I wouldn't be the only one to ever show that. As maybe these people are just looking at the tech tree. But the one game that I uploaded 2 weeks ago was really fun. Nikov's also trying to just get these deer getting pushed in, which is hilarious. And he can attack that eagle here in 20 seconds. But being able to beat a Castle Age player with longswords is satisfying. And Yo is just like, I need the food. Yo went forward with his eagle, by the way. He went really far forward with his eagle at the start to try and steal sheep. And that's why he wasn't able to push in as many of these. But now Nikov's in feudal. And so Yo probably can't come back here to take those three, at least for now. And Nikov going with an archery range. So on these land maps, particularly where the players are very close, we have seen more skirmishers than anything at times. Socotra, skirmishers. And so in Nikov's mind, he's thinking skirms make sense. The thing about skirms is they do produce pretty quickly. I personally think that the production speed on skirms need to be increased. It does feel like it's very much the dominant unit to go for right now. But there are eagles on the other side. Eventually can become very problematic for the skirms. The T90, did Nikov and Mr. Yo play against each other ever? Oh, I'm sure they did a bunch of times. You can go to Liquipedia and look at the head-to-head. And Arbase just linked it. It's like the biggest link you'll ever see. But there you go. There it is. Very helpful from Arbase. That link is... it's a shame that YouTube couldn't see it, actually. YouTube, just imagine all the 6 lines of text from these people. Times 2. That's how big this link was. But yeah, they played against each other before. Maybe not like super recently. But I would say dating all the way... I mean, these guys have both been pros for over 10 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if the first time they played each other in tournaments was somewhere close to 2011. maybe 2012. Nikov here with the skirms. Now, Incas have cheap skirms. They do have the eagles, but they also have cheap skirms. And so it's double range from Yo. Will this get to the point where it then makes sense to go for the longswords we talked about? Because if it takes some time and some resource investment to get there. But it can be very strong. So far, Nikov, I just don't think he knew, actually, what... He didn't know that it was double range. Obviously, look at the amount of freaking skirms now for Yo. He's going to know that it's double. Nikov doesn't have any bonuses now. Like, the Incas have the cheap units. The Incas have the extra pop space on the houses. There's still the mule cart, I suppose, but, like, there's no real active bonus at play for the Armenians anymore. And he's going to gold, guys. Yeah, this is it. He needs quite a few upgrades, though. He needs man-at-arms. He needs longsword. He needs armor. He needs the unit. So he cannot take any bad fights before then. I would just say the fact that he's going to gold right now is solely because he's thinking about that. And he does have some nice farms up. Does still have the scout in the front. We only saw one unit go down, and that was Mr. Yo getting the kill. Nikov has an advantage historically. Can you guys actually tell me some of that data there? Because I can't see that right now. And I think it might be pretty interesting to hear, and maybe for people on YouTube, they'd get to know as well. Like, the earliest set that they played in a tournament would be nice to know. But also, the overall head-to-head in sets and games would be interesting. 6-3 ahead for Nikov. The last two is in 2023, and Mr. Yo won. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So Fletching's in for both now. Man-at-Arms on the way, but Nikov's not going to stop there. And, like, normally just going Man-at-Arms into this many skirms would not work well at this level, because even though the skirms are only doing 1 damage to the Man-at-Arms, once armor's in, they're still able to hit and run, and the Man-at-Arms die very quickly. But Longsword is completely different. And I do wonder if Yo expects this. I think if Yo expects this, he would probably want to have a couple archers in the back. But then Nikov could always focus them down with his amazing micro. The unit control has been really good from both of them so far. As I say that, Nikov kind of getting pounced on here. This is not what he'll want. The scout's getting some good hits, but that is just too many skirms to deal with right now. It is 17 skirmishers for Yo. I think for Longsword to work, you still have to have your own skirms alive here. So I don't think Nikov wants to show his hand right now. But he might have to, because he's otherwise going to lose everything. And Nikov, yeah, he's going to lose these skirms. Longswords, I mean, all these upgrades and the units cost a lot of food. He's trying to hide this right now from Yo. He didn't leave the flag on the barracks. He will drop a tower on the wood line, which is fine. That's important. He needs to be able to push forward. His gold he can still take. And, okay, Yo should have spotted that one longsword now. Arson still not researched, by the way. Arson research could still come in. Nikov needs to have more on gold. He probably needs more skirms as well to take care of the units from Yo. And the only civ that can do this, Armenians, feudal age longswords. Whether it works or not, I'm not sure. But clearly, Nikov came in with a plan. It's interesting, too, because I thought he could have done this on Kawasan. I actually think it's arguably stronger on Kawasan. He's got 2 longswords in this group. And then there's a tower now from Yo. Yo should honestly go to stone to think about more towers here, in my opinion. This will be full feudal from Nikov. He's not going to stop. Kills a villager there. Okay, so the skirms are going to do 1 damage a hit. Oh, Kawasan was a ban and not a pick? Oh, okay, that's just me being dumb then. My bad. So the skirms do 1 damage a hit, but Yo is almost at 30 skirms. So he's almost 2-shotting these. So, I mean, skirms could still counter longsword if you get enough of them. There's not many civs that can produce this much. It would be Incas, Koreans, and then Byzantines. But the longsword mobility could be a factor. Also, I notice how much Yo is on wood right now. These are vills he can't pull to go farm. You don't want 18 on wood. Actually, as I say that, Nikov has 18 on wood. But a lot of that's stragglers, and he can just put those villagers onto farms, right? Nikov probably feeling like he hasn't done enough damage yet. This is a big investment. But still the damage could come. Like this from Yo with the villagers on stone. Just 2 villagers on stone is perfect. With the Inca bonus, it's super cheap to build towers. Could easily build a tower on the front of his base to protect that gold. There's just so many freaking skirms, dude. We are truly in the age of skirms. And what does Nikov do? What Nikov does to support his longswords now that it's not working is just make more skirms. Skirms, and skirms. Again, I think at some point, they will actually increase the production time of skirmishers. They're gonna, I mean, if they're paying attention, I think they're gonna have to. Yo still hasn't clicked up to Castle Age. Eco is actually ahead for Nikov in terms of res collected. And Nikov may be now thinking about Castle Age. Because more longswords isn't going to change a lot here. This is a nice fight for Nikov. Kills 2 skirms. MBL says nothing wrong with skirms. I just think the world should apologize to MBL because he's been spamming skirms and spears since 2013. And everyone's like, oh, why don't you go scouts and archers? And then finally people figure it out. The last 2 years, we've seen so many spears and skirms. Everyone talked so much crap about MBL doing it. And everyone's, you know, no one's respecting the man who started the trend. MBL says apologize, morons. Well, I don't think Twitch chat needs to apologize. That would be the fellow pros out there, MBL. Nikov on the way up. Nikov on the way up. Eagles going into raid. Feudal Age Eagles really won't do too much damage, especially when longswords can hop out. So I think Yo's just maybe getting some scouting. And as silly as it may be, I think that the skirm play for Nikov, like switching back into skirms, is very good. Here he doesn't lose a villager. Wow, kills off the 3 eagles. Villager pathing is going to get really stupid there. Because he clicked that gold mine, so they're going to walk around to go to the other side. I still think Nikov could consider some longswords, but now's when you start to think about knights being an option. Certainly siege is an option, and then you only have so many resources to spend. It's not going to be super easy. I wonder how fast Nikov comes to the middle to drop a monastery here. Because if you really want those relics, you might as well build the monastery right there, and then we could see some warrior priests as well. It'd benefit from the infantry upgrades. Man, Nikov's micro has been fantastic here. Mr. Yo, I think, has just benefited from pure numbers, and that's just his civ bonus. It could also be two-handed swordsman in Castle Age for Nikov. That's a very fair point from chat. Let's see what Nikov clicks first. Has to be Elite Skirm and Bodkin. And then again, you don't have a lot left over, but he's going to snag Squires. And there's the Fortified Church. See, that's a good Fortified Church because it also protects your gold. And it's still really close to those relics. And what is Yo making? Yo is making more skirms. But he's still not in Castle Age. He still won't have the upgrades. And so many a skirm has died on the day. Yo will be hard to break. Dropping the university. He has the tower on the golds. He doesn't have a tower on the stone. And these golds become very important on the front of his base long term here. But Nikov, church is up. You get the free relic with Armenians just by building that. And then that warrior priest can snag those other relics very quickly. So he will have a ton of gold income most likely because Yo is just trying to defend here. T90, if Longsword and Feudal doesn't work, how about Champion and Castle? Well, I think it's good. But once you get the next armor upgrade, I think it's good. But right now, it would be too early because your eco is stretched pretty thin still. So, like these things are obviously going to die because they don't have any armor upgrades. But they're a nice meat shield for now. Nice little distraction. And the Incas can go slingers, so that always makes it tricky. So you can never just be going for infantry against the Incas. 4 relics already for Nikov. Nikov's got to be pretty happy with this. But Ballistics is in for Yo. But Yo he doesn't have enough skirms yet. He hasn't cleared out enough of Nikov's skirms to justify making anything other than skirms. As weird as that sounds. And he's not making eagles because of the threat of the longswords. It's very interesting. Did the relic arrows just snipe the eagle? Yes, the relics fire arrows. On a scale of 1 to 10, how stupid do you think that is? I think you know my opinion. Ballistics paying off big time for Mr. Yo. This could start to snowball a little bit. Now there's going to be some siege from Yo. Honestly, Yo could get some villagers over to stone. If he starts to win some fights, we could see forward castles pretty quickly. Nikov 15 seconds away from Ballistics as well. And again, that gold count is rising for him. Warrior Priest is in there. Warrior Priest has more HP than a longsword. So maybe just go Warrior Priest at this point, honestly. I think mixing them in is better than the longsword right now because they heal up your army too. So they can fight, but they also heal up. And there we go. Okay, Ballistics is in now for Nikov. You can tell immediately because Yo's retreating and getting hit. And I think Nikov is saving for two-handed swordsman or maybe some infantry up. Or sorry, not Yo. But Nikov might be. As he now drops the siege workshop. Nikov's micro is going to have to be on point. Man, there's been so much fighting this game. I really like this map, by the way. It's been one of the best performing maps in the tournament for me. I wouldn't have expected it. Like, no, I never looked at Crater and said, oh, that's a great map. But it actually accomplishes what Land Madness is supposed to accomplish, and that there's a lot of aggression, and players can't full wall. At least the version of Land Madness that most people use these days, not really doing what it was intended. Panic time for Nikov. He goes double Siege Workshop now. And he needs to be very careful here, but he's trying to pick off the reinforcements. These villagers are headed over here. You can do that with the mule carts, but that means he's been without gold for a while because he can't take the front golds. Nikov's still microing on the front. Very close game. Yo's on 3 town centers. Nikov only on 2. And Yo has a lot more food income. That farming eco looks really healthy. Nikov's farming eco looks pretty brutal. Nikov does this a lot, though. Like, you see all the moving villagers around? Like, Nikov sometimes he can't really chill. But the no-chill aspect of Nikov is what makes him so exciting, because he's going double Siege Workshop. He has 2 mangonels queued in each Siege Workshop. So my man has no chill. But that means Yo could be in a really rough position here pretty soon. There's the Warrior Priest that can contribute. There's the mangonels that can contribute. Yo, unfortunate not to get the kill there. But Yo does have the outpost, so that's a really big outpost. And guys, a really big shot on the right side. We were looking at the micro there. Big shot there from Yo. Even the caster missed it. Yo is trying to be patient here for a castle. I think he needs to buy the stone and build the castle right now. Obviously, he can't lose this fight. Okay, here we go. But this is what numbers do. Like, now Nikov's got 3 mangonels. Yo doesn't have any. 4 mangonels. Where do you build your castle? Honestly, you kind of want to here. Like, right in front of that TC. Because if you lose that position, it's horrible. But this is likely the position that Nikov's going to push. And the 6 relics have brought in 1,300 gold already. Like, that is insane. The relics have brought crazy value. 1 for 1 on the mangonels. That's normally okay. That is not okay right now. Not when Nikov's producing mangonels like this. And Nikov could drop a castle. Nikov's going to drop a castle there. And this is just as Yo is trying to get some eagles out. And Yo thinking about his own castle. Will Nikov be able to see that? That's crazy that Yo's dropping that castle. He's just hoping that Nikov doesn't see it. Which is true. That's amazing game sense because it cannot be seen. So Yo's castle is going to go up. Nikov's castle is probably going to go up as well. And Nikov just a little concerned about his own castle being denied. He drops some gates. The micro's insane here. The warrior priest will go in. But Nikov will know that the castle's up once he, once the castle's complete and they meet each other here. But Nikov can just stay here and mine this stone if he wants. Nikov's army count's crazy. Also, making a composite bowman now that there's eagles out in the field could be really good. Not so good when there's still skirms. And, oh god, it's a skirmisher counterattack. It's a skirmisher counterattack. There's no siege at home for Nikov. So he's going to drop a tower here, which I like. And he's going to head on home to try and deal with these skirms. But guys, Nikov's food eco is going to take a big hit. Yo's gold eco is going to take a big hit. Yo actually has to go to this gold. Beyond that, he has no other gold option. But I think Yo might be able to use the market and use that gold to get up to the Imperial Age. And he's getting a crazy raid here. And all of Nikov's aggression, it's coming home. Wonder if Nikov will get guard tower right now. Like, look, I feel like this is just classic Nikov tournament game. Crazy KD, crazy strategy, but the idle eco time is just crazy high. Adding more farms now, trying to fix that. Look how many vills are still inside of this TC. That has not happened to Yo this game. Yo's been... He hasn't been chilling, but his eco's been efficient. Man, what a big deal it is that Yo is taking this gold. This is the only gold that he can freely take. He can't take this gold. And I just don't think Nikov's thinking about that right now. Nikov sorting out his food eco. Maybe we'll think about this, but it doesn't feel like he is. He's chasing down these skirms now, so he might be able to get a kill off there. He's trying to position over this way. He could build another castle here. I would not hate that. Yes, this just further denies this gold. Nikov will snipe the mangonel there. This castle for him will easily go up. But now eagles come this way. And now Yo is going to drop a castle here. Yo is dropping a castle next to the siege workshop. Nikov sees this. The mangonel is going to eject from the bottom side. The eagles are dying to the castle. Nikov's castle is going up. But will Yo's castle go up on Nikov's face and the relics? I think it actually will. It's crazy to me how Mr. Yo is just able to hold on in situations where it looks so bad. And the little escape to the gold and this forward castle from Yo completely changes things. Guys, he can click up to Imp. And he could be on Trebs eventually. Now, he still needs to defend the rest of his eco. He's got skirms here next to 3 mangonels. Has to dance and does. Doesn't lose a single unit. Oh, man, but Nikov should go crazy. I actually think this is where you want longswords. Or, sorry, two-handed swordsmen and rams. Your siege workshops are right here. So you need rams and two-handed swordsmen. You take down that castle if you're Nikov. Here come his comp bowmen. Now, these things are good against armored units. So they're good against skirms and eagles. And we have a pause. I'm going to double check that's a pause because my game has been super buggy recently. Yeah, that's actually a pause. Sorry. This game's insane. So, Nikov does still have access to gold. He's got to do a lot of shifting around to get to it. Feels like a really important time for an engagement. And yeah, we're back in business now. I just think that Yo still has these 2 castles. That's critical. And a trebuchet from either one is going to be a game changer here. Nikov won't be able to do that unless he reaches him. And actually saying that now, Nikov going to balance out those resources. And he will actually click. And that's crazy micro. That's crazy micro that he actually noticed that Yo was sneaking out there. And it continues to be crazy micro from Nikov, at least I think. Yeah, crazy micro from Nikov. Yo's skirms are still alive somehow. But he's losing the whole left side of his base. This is where there's a lot of important eco for him. Nikov with another crazy shot. Takes out another mangonel. And just double checking Nikov's imp TC. It is this. And oh god, Nikov's farming count is not good. He does not use auto farm usually. He will do auto farm in late stages of the game. I would say in a game this messy, having auto farm on would be very good. But usually just going to not use that. Because he wants to have full control over how that wood is spent. Sometimes you can lose out a lot of wood and not have wood for other things if you have your farms auto-reseeding like that. So, guys, the relics here has brought in 3k gold for Nikov. He's going to lose those. And Yo could gain them. Yo is an imp. Still has the villager lead. And still has, like, that consistent farming eco back here. So he'll have a Trev from here. He'll have a Trev from here. Nikov should make it to imp. This would maybe be the time for Nikov to consider his next options here. He could potentially, as he kills his own villager, whoops, could potentially go for the longsword play again. Could actually have two-handed swordsman right now. Castle from Yo is sniping a couple villagers from Nikov. Nikov noticing. And Nikov's just going to go skirms. We're going to see more and more skirms. Nikov now only 8 on gold, but he has no relics. And he could maybe snag them again, though. He could always send a warrior priest out and get lucky. Does make it to imp, getting bracer. And we'll get chemistry here. But guys, Inca's skirms are super cheap, man. And Yo, from my assessment, I know he doesn't have handcart, but it seems to me like he has the much better food eco. This all seems super stable. And he will treb down this castle. He's now trebbing down the TCs. Taking down the TCs is nice too, because then the player will not catch up to you in villagers. And Yo will be ahead on the skirm upgrades as well. But, you know, Yo can't take this gold in the middle for the time being. He's going to be back on his main gold. But that's fine. Like, that's completely fine. The tough thing is, it's like, if you make the infantry switch now, if you're Nikov, Yo has gold, and Yo can just make slingers. So that's been the issue the whole game, is like, Incas are actually very nice. They have that. They can use the same building and just add in a couple slingers, and then the infantry's not so good. There goes Nikov trying to get that relic, and he will not. Yo saw that. Yo also is going to want those relics. And Composite Bowman sniping some villagers from Yo. Skirmishers sniping some villagers from Yo as well. Well played from Nikov. And now Yo is a little distracted, and he's not protecting his trebuchets, guys. Look at Yo. He's chasing this. He's chasing this. He's looking at the relics. He's looking at his treb. But he's not looking at these trebs. And so that's a treb down. This should be 2 trebs down for Yo. And he doesn't have, like, a million villagers on gold or anything. And he doesn't have all the relics yet. So nice job from Nikov. Just making things chaotic. And Nikov's castle stays up. That is his only castle. And this civilization does not get bombard cannon. So both of these civs with no bombard cannon really need their castles. And Nikov should be able to keep this one up for the time being. He's only on 1 town center, though. So losing villagers is going to be tough. And there goes skirmishers. So many skirms, dude. So many skirms. Nikov's getting Gambesons now. Nikov's also trying to treb this castle down. Would have loved to see a ram, honestly. There's also a monk. Oh my god, this is chaos. Skirms countering skirms. Trebuchets after castles. Trebuchets after trebuchets. Composite bowmen after monks. He just wants the relics as quickly as possible. Both of them do. They want the relics now. Nikov will kill these skirms in the back. Population's even now, though. And Yo is these 3 trebs, and Nikov can't repair this castle anymore. He will get another treb before, though. Yo's been able to get 3 of the relics. Yo should probably lose this castle, too. So he'll be down to 1 castle, but he does have 6 trebs. He can use these trebs immediately on Nikov's trebs, maybe. Ooh, the ram going in. Okay, the ram will take down that other treb. This, dude, what a way to start a series, man. This is so chaotic. Nikov's making the longswords again, but... And he does have Gambesons, and he does have the imp armor. But no two-handed swordsman. I just think the lack of HP is still a problem. And I think... Even though it's chaotic for both, that Yo's eco looks a little bit stronger. I think. The longswords tanked a lot right there. They're even just tanking the skirmisher hits is enough, because then your composite bowman and skirms could do the damage. I don't know, though. Yo has 20 more villagers. Yo has the 3 relics. Yo still has all this gold. Yo has so many archer ranges here, producing skirms all the time. Can Nikov get his eco up to consider two-handed swordsman? Remember, only one TC to produce vills this whole time now, Nikov. There's another one, though. Also, the relics for Yo are right here, so they're not exactly safe. Yo probably assumes that Nikov can't go for more infantry. Guys, this is an old scenario trick. Patrol your units on no attack stance in front, and they'll dodge some shots every now and then. That's great. I'm glad other people do that, because I try that sometimes. I feel like I'm the only one. It's normally not seen in tournaments, though, because I die like a pig and never make it to this stage. Nikov. Holding on. That's a nice little trick there. And now he has two-handed swordsman on the way. He snipes another Treb. An eagle might not actually be that strong against the army if two-handed swordsman is in. Yeah, Trojan, it's an old CBA trick. But yeah, no castles when you're about to be eagle raided is a problem. And eagles can kill villagers. They can raid better than anything in the game. So this... It's not actually about the main army right now for Yo. It's about everything else. Just raiding all the different areas. And Nikov buys a castle. And Nikov has to fall all the way back. And Mr. Yo gives himself a lot of time and space here. It's been so consistent with his eco. Now I can take a stone. Now I can take his gold. If only Nikov had castles up. But this castle is not going up. Not yet, anyways. The eagles are killing so many villagers. And now we even have fabric shields on the way to add more armor to the eagles. And Nikov's population was at 180. It's now down to 140. And the eagle raid is just devastated Nikov. And just still not able to get to champion. Still not able to get to what you would need to, which is 100 HP. With the Ferders upgrade. And Treb's there from Yo. I will say it's only one Treb. So that allows Nikov some time to hold. The fact that it's only one Treb means he can snipe that and try and stabilize this. But it's so tough. Even if the two-handed swordsman can kill the eagles, it's so tough to kill the eagles before they kill villagers. And Yo has got to be careful here. I mean, he's dropping this castle now. He doesn't actually have a lot of protection for it. And I think he's moving the Why are you moving the relics there? Oh, I guess his monastery went down. Okay, I thought he was, like, relocating them. Yeah, never mind. Well, so the reason they do that is because they just want them as quickly as possible. I know a lot of viewers want the monastery to be super safe in the back corner. But Nikov actually taps out and calls the GG. Yo just held on with skirms, guys. Skirms, and more skirms. He made 273 skirmishers this game. And yeah, this is probably the end for Nikov. He does not have a very good eco. When someone resigns, all of the units they had in queue are refunded. So these were his... And after the refund, this is his resources. Just not good enough for Nikov. Really good game, though. A really good game. I think this is kind of a sign of what's to come. I think Nikov is going to try and break the meta a little bit. Do some different things and play very aggressive. And then Yo's going to be a bit more defensive and just soak up that pressure at times. I think the game-changing... Like, I'm going to go back to where Nikov could and maybe should have won this game, but also where Yo brought it back, okay? So it's right here. So right here, Nikov's like, I'm in a great spot. I've denied this gold. He can't take this gold. I can take all my golds. And he has his 6 relics. Yo's skirm counterattack was absolutely legendary. Because he does anything else with those skirms, they're completely useless. So this pulled Nikov all the way back. It also killed a bunch of vills. But what it really did is it distracted Nikov from the fact that he could sneak out to this gold. So he was supposed to have no gold. He would be dead. But he has that gold. And Nikov just didn't think about that little 3-tile gold. And then that becomes a bigger problem. Because soon after that, those villagers, or this angle at least, opens up the opportunity for that castle. And so, look, Nikov's still thinking, like, deny the gold even more. Not even thinking that this gold was being taken, and then this castle came up, and this was just when Nikov's eco was starting to look really smooth, and the castle in the face made it worse. So I think that's what changed the game. That's really impressive from Yo. I also wonder if maybe Nikov shouldn't have gone imp, and if he should have just gone two-handed swordsman and rams to ram that castle down. Actually, I think maybe skipping imp would have been the play. But if you skip imp, then you don't get to trebs, and if you don't get to trebs, you don't get to bracer, you don't get to chemistry for the skirms. It's hard. It's hard. Really, really close game. Look how close the KD was. Economies. Yo always had more food eco. Felt like the whole game, he just had farms, and his vills were not being raided quite as frequently, so Nikov did have more stone and gold, which we knew. Yo takes the first game. So, we're at live time. We've got game number 2. Nikov's loss in the previous game was with his second civilization pick, so it feels like he's under even more pressure to get the victory. There was a crazy game where they pretty much ran out of trees in the quarterfinal, Nikov and Sato, and Nikov won that with Viking longboats. So, Vikings, very solid on this map. The weakness for them is you pretty much know what they're going to do. The, of course, benefit, though, is they're so good at it, it doesn't really matter some of the time. Bengalis, though, are in my top 5 for this map. They might not seem like your typical pick, but I'm a really big fan of them. I think I like the Bengalis. I like the Koreans. I like the Dravidians. I guess I would really like the Armenians as well here. And maybe there's some other civ. There's quite a few. Portuguese, Byzantines could all be good. Japanese, Wu. This is a fun map because the transport ship really gives you some additional options. But the Bengalis get the additional 2 vills when they make it to the next stage. And this is a map where usually your vills are going to be a little bit protected. And then when you make it to Castle Age, you also get the +2. And then your ships also regenerate. I think Nikov wants to dock back here, and Yo sees that. And Yo is going to attempt to block the dock foundation with his transport ship. And it almost worked. I can imagine Nikov being uber tilted if he couldn't get a dock down there. Yeah, so I like Bengalis because of the regeneration on the ships, which is really helpful, especially if this gets into galley wars. I like Bengalis because of the additional vills. And yeah, eco and navy is what you look at a lot of the time. If they get attacked on land, they can defend pretty nicely with monks. The last time Yo played this map, he played Koreans, and he converted like 10 Jian swordsmen with Korean monks. You can actually use the Bengalis offensively as well. The units that Bengalis lack, you never really see on this map. Like knights, it's just not really a civilization you see all that frequently, so... I will agree they're awkward to play, though. Certain people can play them, other people cannot. Yo going for the back dock. Now, Nikov should be looking with his transport ship. He didn't see a dock on the front, but he might have scouted a little early. You never really know. This would be the timing where there should be a dock up. It would actually tell Nikov if he didn't see a dock back here. He would then know the dock is somewhere on the front, but he will see it, obviously. What's our sub count at right now, guys? Now, Nikov's going to try and return the favor and block the fish with his transport. I think we're really close to 3K subs again, which is why I asked that. Maybe someone can do sub count in chat, but thank you guys for that, and should be a nice weekend of AoE too. Now, last time Nikov played, he went forward dock. So now he goes back dock. But this could turn into a second and a third dock anyways. That's just more on the side. So this doesn't completely eliminate the possibility of going feudal, but it usually means they're not going to. So maybe both of them actually go for some type of fast castle play. I would like to see a landing from Yo. The best way to beat Vikings is to make it so they can't just make boats. So go up to feudal, your fish are safe on the back. Yeah, you use the transport ship, and you just get over there and make it messy. That seems to be the plan. And Nikov might be opting for the fast castle approach as we see the 5th fishing ship. He is getting loom. It's probably not fast castle, but it's definitely not a super tight build to apply a lot of pressure. And wait a second. Oh, I know what this is. Yo is going to dock directly next to the dock from Nikov to pressure it with fires. which is which is pretty crazy. I like it. I like it because, again, it's so awkward for the galley player to deal with fires when they're close. That's why he back docked, so he wouldn't have that problem. Well, guess what? Your back dock is now a forward dock, pal, because Yo is here. Also, that's the last place that Nikov's ever going to scout. Nikov's going to be expecting a landing. Nikov's going to be looking for another dock on the front. Like, he's never going to expect that the dock is here. That's so smart from Yo. Ooh, and Nikov's villager's exposed. Yo's about to hit feudal age. Let's see a Nikov quick wall. Nikov quick wall. Bam. 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 He gets it. He gets it, but now his scout's going to die. That was nice. Nice play there from Nikov. Yo will be a little annoyed. He did have the blocking down there, but he didn't get it right. And, oh, now there's a barrack showing up. So now Nikov will actually see the barracks foundation. But Nikov doesn't know that it's a barracks and also a fire's coming from the front. Yeah, Nikov's resources are set to try and go Castle Age, but he needs to spend all of his wood on the 2 buildings, and he needs to save this gold. He can do nothing else, or his fast castle's kind of ruined. And here comes the fire. This is so good from Yo. This is so good. He also killed the scout, too. So now Nikov doesn't have that. This is so good. Oh, and by the way, and Woolaloo, thank you for the 10 gifted. You're a legend. But, like, you can just fish boom on the back now if you're Yo. You can just add fish. Your fish are safe. So this is excellent pressure from Yo, even without really killing a lot. Obviously, he really can on water. But nervous times for Nikov. Now, Nikov had some nervous times last time he played Vikings, and he was able to calm his nerves and come back. But yeah, this is looking kind of rough for Nikov. He's on the way to Castle Age in a second. Does he know about the archery range, though? I don't think he does. Oh, wait, he can... Oh, well, that villager is free, and now he knows. Yeah, his fish are sailing. They're not doing a whole lot more. And, ooh, Nikov with a sneak off. Let's go. Okay, so he actually flees with this fishing ship and somehow has saved the other 5 and will go forward dock. I think it'll be double forward dock, actually, because you can't boom on land easily right now. I think he wants longboats. We might see another one. Yo needs to know about this, though. It's very easy to think you just killed the fishing ships because you don't really follow your fires that much when you're looking at everything else. He's adding an archer. This villager's walking the whole way around. Yo, Boots Junch, thanks for the year. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. He's looking around, and he finds the fish. So that's really well played from Yo. Wow, and Yo is on the way to Castle Age as well. That's insane. That's just insane. He's done so much damage, and up until now, he only had 3 kills. It's just crazy. But Nikov's Vikings. Wheelbarrow is free. Everyone likes a free wheelbarrow. You know what's better than a free wheelbarrow? A free cart for your hands. Free hand cart. That's in. Nikov drops the second TC. That should go up. Starting to make some longboats. Arguably the most dangerous boat on water. And he's starting to mass them. He should not move out with them, in my opinion. He should keep them safe. He doesn't have upgrades. He should wait. Drops the siege workshop. Probably for a scorpion to deal with the archer, the villager, and the scout. This feels like the start to a really bad joke. Like, what happens when a 9 HP scout, a villager, and an archer walk into the bar? You guys can come up with the punchline. Nikov's probably going to write the punchline here with the scorpion. It's never going to feel good, though, for Nikov when he sees all these random red dots at his island. Oh, the scout dies. The scout dies. But I think Yo will just say, okay, we're booming. That's fine. I've had my fish safe. I get to hit your fish now. And Yo can drop TCs at home. Almost 1,000 more resources collected for Yo. And he will actually drop a forward monastery as well. Maybe get a couple monks out. Nikov's going to need to reclaim these golds at some point. This is just a masterful, masterful game from Mr. Yo. Everything has been basically perfect, honestly. You know what this game is, guys? This is the type of game that you watch, and it's so unbelievably satisfying because everything clicks and everything works so well together. And then when I'll finish the stream, like 8 hours from now, I'm going to say, man, I need to play this game. Like, I have to play. I have to replicate that. And then I'll play, and then I play like absolute garbage. Half because I'm tired, but half because I'm not Mr. Yo. And then it's completely ruined. I don't know if you guys are the same, but you watch a game and you're like, oh man, that was so good. I need to play. And then you play and you're like, it's not the same. Sorry, that was a little loud, but yeah. I have a real problem with that. I have a real problem with that because after 8 hours, the last thing I should do is try and play. The TC's coming up here from Yo. I mean, let's see. Let's see if Nikov can bring it back. Nikov is massing those longboats. That is the key. Like, everything else is going poorly. But longboats, they belong, okay? And it's still no fletching yet. And look how fast they're taking down these fires. This ship is insane. I think that's why Nikov picks them. Because even if you have a kind of a rough start, you can always come back. Very nice to rely on here. And there they are. I think Yo, like, he now should recognize that fighting on water is not going to be very good. And now he should shift to some focus on land. And Nikov has no clue what's going on over here. I think he might have even left his mind at this point. Maybe he thinks the Scorpion killed the villager. But Yo's got double monastery and now the siege workshop here. And back to our point from earlier when someone said, why Bengalis? You've kind of already seen it with what the additional villas have done. But you see how natural it feels to go monks here? And no one really has the food eco to go light cav right now. Either. In Nikov's position. So monk siege feels devastating. Like, this is going to hit big time. I think Nikov will have to try and go light cav. He has to. He sees this. So he knows it'll be monks. And that's why the barracks is on the way. Redemption's already in. So any siege that Nikov makes can just be converted. Or his buildings can be converted. And I think you have to delete your siege workshop if you're Nikov. And maybe I don't know if you delete the market, but what other choice do you have? Okay, well, he gives up the Scorpion. So maybe that's actually decent. You're okay with losing the Scorpion, because now at least you have your Mangonel. And Yo, just properly thinking about this, understands what would I do in his position. I would try and go light cav. He actually can see the barracks was going up too. So he should know a stable will follow, and there's the stable for Nikov. But guys, like, against Bengali monks, you need a lot of light cav. You can't just go in with 2 light cav, 3 light cav, even 4 light cav. You might need like 6 or 7. If Yo's got 4 to 6 monks. And meanwhile, Yo, cooking in his kitchen. That is this eco back here. These villagers are not, but they'll get to work eventually. His eco's completely untouched. Even the pikeman upgrade now. Again, I think Nikov has to lead a siege workshop. That's a full HP monk. Little surprised that Yo keeps backing away here. You can just tank a shot to the face. Your monk doesn't care. Nikov does have the scouts on the way. That'll take some time. He almost needs a second stable right now. But he has no space. He has no room. He has no time to breathe right now. And siege workshop's deleted. You can't give Yo another siege workshop. It would make it so much worse. But there's 3 mangonels now. The longboats are out there, by the way. They're out there to patrol the shorelines, but they don't help here. And Yo knows that stable is there. There's no surprises here. It's just been perfectly calculated. Look at the vision he has on Nikov's island right now. If Nikov tries to defend with the Mangonel, it gets converted. So he deletes it. And Nikov still needs the light cav upgrade. It's on the way. He's got four scouts now. But there will be 6 Bengali monks with pikemen. Nikov needs his ships to somehow contribute on the shoreline, maybe. But the entire game was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup play from Mr. Yo with the forward dock. Oh, Nikov is so mad right now. That Mangonel goes down to 1 HP. Are you kidding me, game? You can't even give him 1 kill. And here comes the same villager that built the forward dock and did all of this. And he'll just repair that Mangonel. Only thing Nikov can really convert there is the pikemen. So he's trying. And converting the pikes is nice because then he can engage with the light cav. Yo is not great with monks compared to some players. So maybe there's a chance for that reason. Nikov's still waiting. Still waiting. He knows he needs more numbers. Wow, he's even getting atonement himself. So they'll both have atonement. So they can convert the enemy monks. Nikov's about to lose this town center. And, oh, Yo, as atonement, is going for those monks right now. But now his monks are going too far. And that's a mistake from Yo. Loses those 2 monks. Might give an opportunity to Nikov. TC's still going to go down. And that's a lot of pikemen right now. That's a lot of pikemen. And they both have atonement. They're both converting the other's monks right now. But there's still the pikemen there. There's still the siege. Nikov gets the conversions he would have wanted. The pikemen kind of move awkwardly out of position here. Maybe Nikov can get a clear up on some of this. The siege trades were somewhat even. The one Mangonel is weak, and Nikov notices that. I was just going to say, that looks really good micro for Nikov, but still a horrible position. He's not able to push this away. And behind this, Yo is just cooking on 3 town centers, and that was just so good from Yo. And Vikings, you need to make it messy for them on water maps, and that's precisely what he did. The forward dock was a masterclass, and then just keeping that villa alive going this way was a masterclass as well. It's also perfectly punished Fast Castle. If Nikov would have gone to Feudal Age, he had a lot more adaptability here. He could have made galleys to still defend from just 1 dock. He could have added a barracks. He could have added an archery range and dealt with that vill. So there's a little bit of guessing games, too, on what the build's going to be for people. And because Nikov didn't go Fast Castle before, last time he played, but Yo guessed perfectly and just played it perfectly. And that's kind of what this map is designed to be, too, right? Like, use the transport, be creative, not just sit back and play full water. So Yo goes up 2-0 now. And with game 1 being so close, you feel for Nikov now that it's 0-2. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys go to church on Sundays, but it's Saturday and we've got the Jurchens here. For Yo. Sorry, that was not great. MBL's not MBL. God, Nikov is down 2 games. But MBL was on my mind because Nikov was the first. Oh my God! Because MBL. I can't get the player names right here. Ruining this. He went for the Jurchens in previous rounds, and he went for the Grenadier, guys. He went for the Grenadier, a unit that I don't think needed to be buffed. I made videos on how insane it was, but then it was buffed, and so. That's an option here. Maybe Yo feels as though he could go for the Grenadier. It's out of the archer range. And is it not listed here? Am I wrong? Oh, the colors are also flipped. I'm so sorry. There we go. So now we got Yo in the red. Worst intro ever. But the Grenadier is very strong. But you need to get to Castle Age, and it also has its weaknesses and low HP and whatnot. Yo's just like a standard player through and through, though. Like, Yo doesn't do, especially on Arabia, like, I would be very surprised if Yo is going to try Fire Lancers or if Yo's going to try the Grenadier. I would say he probably just picked this civilization for this bonus here. It's solid. Mounted units and Fire Lancers attack faster. Mounted units is what Yo loves. So he might just want to play Lancers. He might want to play Light Cav. He maybe wants to play into some Cav Archers or something. It's just not a very Mr. Yo thing to play into those other options that this civilization has. Now, we did get the chicken Arabia. The chickens are actually better for the Jurchens because they don't have their hunt decay. So you don't have to worry about efficiency here. Normally, you would never want 5 villagers on what's left of that boar because you would lose out on more to decay. The Jurchens don't care about that. So he benefits from getting the that bonus here and just lucky because you don't always get chickens on Arabia. So Nikov's probably like, are you kidding me? Of course. I'm down 2 games. And we ran him into chicken Arabia. Because now Nikov has to deal with some of the decay there. Nikov's going to try and go up to feudal age without taking the chickens, which is an option. He does have a lot of pigs here. He was very far forward with his scout, so actually he might have stolen some. I think he stole 2 at least, so. I like Vietnamese. I think Vietnamese are very adaptable on Arabia. I think they're very smooth. Scouts, cav archers, it's certainly a bit more of a clear game plan for me. I think in meta games on Arabia, not having access to knights can be kind of awkward at times. And Yo doing what he usually does on Chicken Arabia. I wasn't sure if he would do it here, but he doesn't even build the mill there. So if he's not Jurchens, typically what he does is he'll have 4 villagers go out. They'll eat the entire first chicken. They still have room to carry more, so they'll eat another whole chicken. And maybe even part of another, depending on the math there. And he'll time it so they drop off the food right before he clicks up to feudal. And then the mill is always just on the berries. Chickens are obviously like new, but like, eventually people are going to figure out the builds for it at a high level. And that's pretty much what a lot of people are doing right now. In my experience. It does depend, though, on the civ. And the player. And the preference. And the strategy. All that stuff. Yo's woodline stresses me out. Like, this is not a woodline that I think is going to look very good soon. This is difficult to look at. Woodlines for Nikov look very efficient. And will remain efficient for a while. They'll be up at the same time. Nikov benefiting from the lame. So he's still got the pigs underneath the TC. And he doesn't spend food on his eco upgrades with his civ as well. So he's in a... Or he doesn't spend wood, sorry, on his eco upgrades as well. So he's actually in a very nice spot here with this build. Looks very nice. Redemo, thank you for the prime. Sorry I missed it. A little distracted by the games. Woolaloo, thanks again. Thanks for the 2 months, too. Thank you, Choppa. I don't know. Hitting 3K today would be a big jump, but maybe by the end of the weekend or something. We'll see. See how many primers are out there. See how many people show up today. Nikov's going to go for this little circular wall, which is the safe way to do it. And he's got everything he needs in here. Once the wall's complete. I think Yo might try something similar, but Yo's map seems way more difficult to lock down. That gold's going to be tough. And scouts will be on the way for Nikov eventually. He's definitely going more for the economy approach, though, than the timing attack approach. So for now, he's actually, because he's walling so much, he's struggling to afford scouts. But I don't hate it. The opponent still has to wall up. And he has the better civ, I think, for this situation. Just because of the cheap eco upgrades. Nikov just attacks the villager there, but backs away. Yo, classic smooth, Sativa, Homie, Univold, and Mr. Pop with the primes. All right, so I've learned I need to mention prime more today. Got it. Thanks, guys. Thank you, thank you. So I asked in the memes channel in Discord for people to make memes about the chickens being loud. And there were some. There's some very good memes. I can show them later. But then the majority of the memes that followed were memes about how I wanted people to make memes about chickens being loud. So it wasn't a meme about chickens being loud. It was a meme about me thinking chickens, needing a meme for the meme. I don't know. Meme chat memed a little too hard over the last 48 hours. But thank you. Thank you anyways. I think one person made like They said they were at a wedding and they had some time to kill or something. They made like 15 memes. I'm just imagining this dude at a wedding just making memes during the reception. It's funny. I respect it. Yo, Sativa homie, welcome. Thank you. Very awkward to play in Yo's position right now because you're not fully walled. Your opponent's fully walled. And had he stayed at home, he would have defended nicely. But now the scouts come in from Nikov, and Nikov's going to get what should be a free villager pick or two. Well, it's not going to be easy. He has to get the blocking right. But he's desperate for something there, and he gets it. Well played, Nikov. He also now delays the archer range. And it is kind of just like in little ways a map difference. But also Nikov recognized this very early because he scouted, and again, he'll be happy with this. I personally don't think that the Jurchens have enough redeeming qualities to be picked for Arabia unless they're late on your draft. And they were for Yo. This is like super late on the draft. So this isn't a top pick from him. But knowing the Civ's bonuses, just wondering, is he going to have some potential problems here? I guess they do get crossbowmen. They could still just play into crossbowmen. He gets the quick wall down there. Defense. And the scouts now still poking around here for Yo. He'll attack the house, but there's some spearmen on the way for Nikov, so unlikely he does anything there. Scouts, very weak for Nikov, and pathing into the villagers a bunch. And into the spearmen, and now they stopped. And now they're dead. All right. So you don't normally show up to watch high-level AoE for relatability, but a lot of you might look at that and say, oh, that's me right there. Let's go. Range will come up. Or sorry, blacksmith will come up now for Yo. And a couple archers now from Yo. I mean, losing those scouts weren't that big of a deal for Nikov. But now he's full defense. And now Yo's got some potential to get some pressure timings. And now there's Yo can full wall. Yo can take risks that he wouldn't otherwise take. And Nikov dropping the tower there. It's an interesting one. I don't actually think that tower's needed. I think you have enough archers to defend from the other archers. But this is now, he doesn't know what Yo is investing into. He doesn't know if Yo's double range, triple range, quadruple range, 10 range. He has no clue. So he drops the tower to be safe. Oh, he actually jumps out, picks off that archer. That's nice. And then, like I said, I think he can use these archers to just kill these two archers. And then there's no way the scouts can actually break through the house. And Nikov on the way to Castle Age faster. And Yo, sloppy. These archers don't even have fletching for Nikov. So this defensive approach from Nikov has paid off, I think. I think the thing that's disappointing for him, though, is just that he built that tower. Because now he can't ever drop a second town center. But this isn't the end of the world because Nikov likes to be aggressive. And this will confirm this in his mind that he has to be aggressive. He doesn't even have the option to drop TC number 2. Yo on the way to Castle Age now. Yo's normally really good at defending his base against faster Castle Ages, but this is a lot of walling that he needs to reinforce, especially on the gold. If anyone needs a tower, it's Yo. It's actually so crazy to me that Yo isn't towering this. Oh. Man, guy forgot to bring his bear spray. And villager just walling the outside areas right now for Yo. Wait a second. Is this open? No way, dude. Nikov, keep running. Click behind. Keep running. Oh, wait. Yo sees the archers. And by the time Nikov clicks through there, the house will actually be going up. I wonder if Nikov stays here. Because he traveled all the way over here. You don't really want to leave. It feels like that's a hole. But actually, he could just be on the gold, right? Like, if he has all his army hitting the gold, it could be insane. Crossbow, bodkin arrow on the way for Nikov. He just cannot lose his army before it's upgraded. Those upgrades come in 4 seconds here. He loses one archer. And he might lose the second. Oh, that's nice micro from Nikov. He tries to separate the weak crossbow, but okay. Yo gets the pick off. I mean, Yo's happy with that. Yo's very happy with that. That's not an issue. It gave him a bit more time to breathe. He's now adding skirms from the archer ranges here, and Nikov has done no immediate damage. And now Nikov will go for the siege workshop. Again, I think if Nikov didn't add that tower, he actually would drop a TC. He's got really smooth economy right now to add vills, but that little freak out in feudal age cost him a little bit. I don't mind the aggression, though. Cav archers with Vietnamese, I also think is a really nice play, and he sees the skirms. Yo needs wood for a building to block this, but he doesn't have 200 wood. Like, he needed, like, market resources or something. Oh, but the skirms are here, and he drops the house, and he's fine. Man, impressive from Yo. So impressive. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, God. Oh, God. Yo left his base to build a TC on the other side of the wood line, and the cav archers and the crossbowmen are there for Nikov. This is what Nikov needs. This army's still running away. The siege could yet to come, and oh, man, the skirms are just all out of position for Yo as well. What on earth? And that TC is going to look really bad because you think, like, why build it that riskily? But most of the pressure was coming in on the front, and it actually protects the other side of the wood line from the range of crossbowmen and cav archers. So that's the reasoning for it, but that's a great find from Nikov. Crossbowmen escaped for the most part over here. The cav archers are still running around. These crossbowmen... Look at this from Nikov. He's just got all these armies. He still hasn't come forward with his siege push yet. He still has 2 mangonels. Yo has no clue he's even gone for siege. This is exactly what Nikov wants. He just can't help himself. He has to micro with a million different armies. And then you look back at home, and Nikov's going to have, like, 4 farms. But it's because he refuses to spend wood on anything but military right now. Yeah, he's got like 4 or 5 farms. So if the attacks don't work, then obviously things could look much better for Yo. But the attacks are just everywhere. And now the siege is coming in. And now, like, that stable could go down pretty quickly. And then Nikov could be right in. What's happening to the stable, by the way, when it gets hit? You see that little graphic change? Wait for it. You see that? What is that? Is that the palisade? That's weird. It's like the palisade is moving in front and behind the stable. I've never seen that before, but not that it really matters. Bloodlines is on the way for Nikov. And Ballistics is in for him already. And if you want to get cav archers, 3 mangonels, ballistics, all these upgrades, you don't farm heavily in the early stages. This is how you max out your potential. Now he even goes for the second TC. Yo, adding a siege workshop. And I think Nikov says, you know what? I'm not going to run in there after your siege workshop. I'm going to try and push up this hill. Which is a smart way of looking at it. Yo did complete this TC. And game is pretty close. Why'd pick Jurchens to just go skirms, though? Yo just picked Jurchens because he prioritized his draft on other things. So this is a very late pick. And if he can win with it, sure. If he loses with it, he's not going to be all that upset. But that rocket cart did not get any kills. And now Nikov has 3 mangonels here. And Ballistics is still not in yet for Yo. So he's missed all those shots there. And now his skirms are getting hit. This is Nikov's chance. Like, this is what he's been waiting for. He's got Yo completely rattled right now. Honestly, if he dives in with the CA, I think he wins the game, but it's risky. Because you could dive in there, take that rocket cart, and then you're just all over those vills. The skirms are not here for Yo. They're chasing the crossbowmen. But you don't... When you think you're already winning, you don't want to take those risks. Also, there's this to worry about. Rocket cart hops out. Nikov loses the mangonel. He's distracted. And what he's distracted by, guys, is his eco. Nice kill. He's adding eco now. He'll be adding farms. So expect the micro to dip a little bit for Nikov. And expect this game to continue to go pretty late. Like, this is just going to continue. Yo will probably drop the third town center eventually, but... Yeah, I mean, his skirm micro has been fantastic this series, but you shouldn't want to have skirms against Siege. Just because he's kept his units alive most of the time doesn't mean he always will. He's hoping to catch off cav archer reinforcements. Nikov's actually not sending units forward, though. And Nikov sees those units there. I'm curious if Nikov can get his food eco good enough to mix in a couple knights here. Like 2 knights for those skirmishers, and that's free kills. But it might be better to just save resources for the Imperial Age, and Nikov loses his mangonel. I think in that moment, he's reacting to the 2 counterattack cav archers. Or maybe adding some farms. And, yep, yo. Yet again. Holding on, man. You know what's nice about Mr. Yo in a tournament, guys? I feel like every game goes imp. Whether he wins or he loses, doesn't matter who he's up against, it feels like the games always go imp. You know, none of these, like, feudal age or early castle age losses or wins. He wins or loses in imp. It goes there every time. Watch him lose in castle age now, but it feels like this could go imp. These cav archers will probably get dealt with. Here comes Nikov now. The T90, how good is the Jurchen unique unit? I don't think it's that great. I've not been impressed with it. Is it the pagoda? Yeah, I mean, it never feels like you have a state of the game, at least in a game like this, where you can easily make the switch. So, I'm not the biggest fan of it right now. I mean, there's other unique units I think are a bit stronger. Pagoda, not really the unit that I would be prioritizing here, but maybe that's the unit you got to go for. I think what this civ is probably good at is just like going full trash, like Hussar, Skirm, Halb, and then you like fortify up with castles, and you basically play like super trash heavy late game and save your gold for other things. But yeah, you want to talk unique units. I think the Grenadier, that's the unit. And again, it doesn't seem to show here. That's the unit that I think this civ's does well with, or even Fire Lancers, because they do 20% more damage. Nikov, a healthy eco lead. Healthy eco lead. And counterattack from Yo. Gets completely caught out. I think Yo must be looking somewhere else. Yeah, Yo's looking here, and Yo's sniping the mangonels, so both players think they're a god there for the moment. As a player, you're also like, you should be thinking, why was that so easy for me? What went wrong? And then you're like, oh. I see. But Yo's still in this. Just now dropping the 3rd town center. Has a lot of gold to spend. Most realistic thing to spend it on would probably be the rocket carts. And Nikov says, you're going to need to do that, pal. Because I'm taking 2 of these with me. And he picks off those 2 rocket carts. Well played, Nikov. Does need to get back home, though. Like, his cav archers pay a heavy price there. It feels like Nikov might want a forward castle on this hill. This could still go either way, this fight. Oh, that shot from Nikov was insane. He's going to take another rocket cart. Damn, that was impressive. That was really impressive. Again, earlier in the game, I think he could have ended the game by just killing 1 rocket cart with the CA. He didn't want to take the risk there. And he showed there how the cav archers can snipe them if the micro is good enough. And here he comes with vills. He's coming with 3 vills. Please bring more than 3 villagers. He's coming with 5 more. This is still way less than I would like to see. But the shots are good. The micro's good. And he takes the rocket cart. And he always has more mangonels here. And Nikov's castle should go up. Yo will see this. There's not much Yo can do about it until the rocket cart's here. He needs a really good trade with the rocket cart. Okay. Oh, God! Well, his rocket cart's alive. Now his skirms are going to be all dead, though. And he was using the skirms against the villagers on the castle, so that's the risk there. And yeah, that castle's going up. Damn. And with that, we'll probably see Nikov on the way to the Imperial Age, 25 villager lead, and this is what Nikov needs, dude. This is what Nikov needs. Needs that Needs to remind himself, I can beat this guy. He's hard to kill, but I can freaking beat this guy. Remember, game 1 was super close. One tiny little decision decided that one. Well, it was a bunch of tiny decisions. But, you know, like one tiny change there changed the game. I really don't see what Yo can do from here now. Just... He's behind economically, and he's behind to the Imperial Age, and he's behind with military. There's not a single category that he's actually ahead in. Maybe technologies, but even then it looks like he's behind. So usually a player has one aspect of the game that they can still hang on with. The only thing now would maybe be the annoyance factor, because these cav archers are running through, but Nikov's going to be fine. Thumb ring's on the way. And he'll continue to make the cav archers, which I think is a great move. Okay, question for you guys. Do you think... How do I word this? See, because I think going Vietnamese cav archers is a great play. Because they get the extra HP. But do you think it's weird identity-wise that Vietnamese go cav archers? And that the extra HP applies to their cav archers? Because I remember when Vietnamese were like a foot archer civ, you know? To me, it feels kind of weird identity-wise. You can make the argument with a couple other civs as well. I think it's weird. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I think if the game's balanced like this, the civ's balanced like this, you should do it, but just a little odd. These tiny armies just keep running into Nikov's eco, and Nikov doesn't kill them. I think he will have some light cap for this now. But yeah, guys, he will be on Treb soon. Yo's just building a castle here now. So Yo's likely to lose that castle. And Nikov, he's scaling up towards a crazy good composition. I really don't see a way Yo can claw his way back here. And GG. There we go. By the way, when I say identity crisis, it's also a lot of that's like based on the history of the civ. Not historical accuracy. I'm talking about history of Age of Empires. So I think it's because I've been around for so long and I remember like how the Vietnamese were played, what their identity used to be. Very much depends on the audience and I guess who was watching ever since the Civ was released. But we can move on from that. Nikov gets the win. Nikov played that great. I think it was the right call from him to just full wall his base. As boring as that is for viewers, that full walling the base right away was perfect. He couldn't take any damage. The only time there was any question was the tower going up. But what you do when you tower like that is you lean hard into the aggression, and the aggression paid off. Delaying Yo's town centers, killing some vills, applying pressure, and then he eventually just boomed like a madman behind it. So more of everything there from Nikov. That's what Nikov can do. Just a reminder. But now it is Yo's turn to pick the map. So we'll see what he picks. I'm still kind of laughing at the fact that he picked Arena on his draft because Yo normally does not like Arena at all. We're catching up to live time. And what type of map generation did we get this time on Four Lakes? Because the last couple times, we've had one very wallable map versus one very open map. And it feels like the Huns player always gets the super open map. This is fairly open for Nikov. It's wallable for Yo, but it's not as wallable as I felt some of the other generations were. So it feels fairly even here. We've got the Woo for Yo. And we've got the Huns for Nikov. So I could pretty much guarantee you. In fact, I'm going to put some money on the line. I'm going to put 20 gifted subs on this. Yo is going man-at-arms, okay? If Yo does not go man-at-arms, I will drop 20 gifted subs. Because why else would you pick the Woo? You get the regenerating infantry. You get more food from your military production buildings. So, like, building the barracks early is really nice. I think this will play out very similar to Japanese, where we see the man-at-arm opening into adapt. And please do not text Mr. Yo. He's in the middle of a tournament series. Thank you, chat. As I've said before, Four Lakes has a lot of fish. It is an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet in these corners. So you do not need to expand to the other ponds as much, in theory. But you still tend to see that expansion to stop the other person from expanding the fishing eco anyways. I think this area for Nikov is either going to be incredible or horrible. Both of his golds here. The only golds he has are here. So maybe an early tower for Nikov would make sense here. The wood situation's very nice, though. Chat, I've been meaning to tell you this. Actually, before we get to that, thank you, Poop Octopus, for the 14 months. Thank you, Sherlock Homeboy, for the 4 months. Thank you, MacGyver, for the Prime. I've been meaning to tell you this because I think you guys will think this is funny. So, we recently met somebody, like, you know, and we're, like, out dinner or whatever, right? And they asked, like, what do you do? And so I, you know, was, like, video game commentator or whatever. Forget what I said. And then my fiance said, like, marine biologist. And they said we sounded like a house hunters couple. Which is actually super funny. Because, like, you'll watch some of those house hunter shows. And it's like, what's your budget? $2.5 million. What's your job? I have a fitness blog. And I'm creating a different type of toothpaste. I don't know, like things that make no sense together that seem totally fake. And naturally I was like, I feel like chat would appreciate that. It's kind of embarrassing how many times I say I can't wait to tell chat that. Or sometimes I'll say, can I tell chat that? And the answer will be no. But yeah. A house hunters couple. It's pretty funny. There's the barracks. Don't get excited about the gifted subs, because I only put the money on the line because I knew he'd go man-at-arms. And Nikov knows he's going to go man-at-arms as well and is looking. And he's searching and he'll see the barracks. Okay, so that gives him the intel. Because there is always that chance that the opponent doesn't go for man-at-arms. So. Doc is on the right side here for Nikov. He's going to check the left to see if... Oh! Oh, this is pretty sick. Look at this. So he's looking for the dock from Nikov. And he's going to check most of the shoreline, and he's going to go... Well, actually, he checked this pond too, though. No way he's thorough with this and checks the whole thing, right? What? Bro, I would just assume he's not there. That's crazy to me. I would have just scouted this side, never go to this area, and I would assume that he's over here because I didn't scout it as thoroughly. I actually think that's part of why Nikov docked that, too. I think he did that for the mind games. But he's aware of it. And here comes the villager. Mr. Yo. Just crazy. Just crazy. Nikov is also going to switch over to this pond, too. Wow, so Nikov, early walls here, not on gold, double dock. So he doesn't know Nikov's gold situation's rough. He doesn't even know if Nikov is on golds. And here come the militia. I guess I'm screwed, though, if he doesn't click the man-at-arms upgrade, right? It's kind of weird, because he's focusing so much on the pawns, he doesn't know where he can actually hit Nikov with the man-at-arms. But Nikov is waiting for the man-at-arms. He's looking for them, doesn't see them. And he's never going to expect Yo to dock this pond. I think he's expecting he can just get away with this. Here comes Yo. Man-at-arm upgrades on the way. And Nikov is going full wood and food eco. You know how you punish this? Punish the fact that your opponent doesn't go to gold? You kill their fish. And that's... Nikov thinks he's fine. Nikov thinks he's a god. Nikov thinks he's been able to get away with this here. Because he would have seen the dock. He built an outpost over here. He's like, he's not docking me at all. No, you're just wrong, Nikov, unfortunately. Nikov sees an opportunity to sneak out to the gold. Drops a tower there, which, again, he kind of has to. He'll also be adding scouts. But, guys, look at all the fishing ships he's queuing up. He's committing so much to this pond. This is crazy, man. Yo Masterclass. There's a range now from Yo, a sneak range. There's 21 gifted subs from Azure Sentry. Let's go. Wait, is that because I'm not gifting? You're... Okay, I see what you're trying to do. But thanks. And Nikov now, like, kind of last minute checks. And is thinking, what? Like, this is so weird. And it's just so smart from Yo. And now, Nikov might end up losing this villager. He'll lose all these fishing ships. The only positive for him is that he is still fishing elsewhere. But yeah, that villager's dead. The fish are all going to die as well because Nikov wasn't on gold. Nikov will have a decision to make. We'll see if he makes more fires there. But he needs to focus on getting some vill damage. And maybe also scouting the ponds. Nikov just played so greedy this game. He played with some big risks in mind. He didn't even scout where Yo is fishing. Nikov's scouts are here. He'll obviously want the kills now because of how bad this was. So usually you'll see someone take the risk there. If it's a close game, he's never going to lose the scout for a vill there. He'll be more patient than that. But it's not so close after the damage. Still has to repair these walls against the man-at-arms. And there's now archers coming in, which I'm sure he wasn't expecting. So again, he must be confused because he hasn't seen the archery range. I love how Yo has played this. I think Yo has played a perfect game. He's just so fun to watch, man. Like, Yo's strategy is so good. And I don't like, can't be too critical of the risks Nikov is taking. I just think he's up against the wrong opponent to be doing this stuff. Other people would get super confused by the sneak dock location, but Yo's gonna, he checks for those things, and he punishes you. 7 to 1 KD for Yo. There will be people who hear those numbers and have very different reactions, but Mr. Yo, now 8 to 1 on the total KD. On the way to Castle Age. This is where I wouldn't mind to see a stable. You should have some decent food eco. And maybe a couple knights could clear up the archers and the skirms. Only thing Yo's missing is maybe taking care of this pond. And Nikov has the outpost and he has the docks here. He's trying to recover with a lot of fish in this pond. Yo will probably bring vills for this. Yo's not going to allow this to go unchecked. He's actually was looking for the dock villager, I think. And here comes the villager. Basket in hand on the way. And barracks at home. Ah, okay. So he's going to go Jean Swordsman. All right. Yep, that's really good. John Swordsman is really good here as well. Kind of slipped my mind. Because it's a unit that doesn't feel so good the longer the game goes, but early Castle Age, they're incredibly strong, especially against Feudal Age units. And we see the gate there from Yo, just to hold on to this gold for now. Should be okay. Still has some army here Nikov needs to look at. And Nikov... Oh, Nikov does see this. Nikov loses the game if he loses this pond. And, oh, Nikov traps the vill and says, get roasted. That was sick. Really well played from Nikov. Still worried, though. Like, now Nikov's up. Or Yo is up. And the Feudal Age army you have here won't do too much. That should die to the Jean Swordsman. And your gold's very much exposed. And Yo is kind of in a dream spot right now. He invested very little into Feudal Age and did so much damage. He didn't need to make many fires to kill those fish. And he didn't need to make many archers to distract Nikov either. Nikov did retake this pond. So he can add fish there again. And he does have the 10 fish up here. And Yo only has 8 fishing ships. So it's not like Yo's got this crazy fishing eco. Here comes John. On the way. And they are kind of slow compared to a stable unit. As Jean Swordsman will go in. Nikov will attack with the scouts. And Nikov will not get any kills with the scouts. Yep, so that's the end of that. And now we've got Jean Swordsman patrolling around on the front. And now we've got a siege workshop from Yo. And that's soon going to be a monastery from Yo. And now we have arson from Yo. And Nikov's still 2 minutes away from the next stage. What does Nikov's base look like right now to you? It looks like an AI encampment. I think he's got a few too many villagers for a tiny little AI camp. But this is something you encounter in a campaign right now. To be honest, the whole thing kind of seems like a campaign reenactment because we also now have infantry and rams coming from Yo, which you don't see every day. But the ram was a great call. It's an amazing call. Look how fast the stable's going to go down. Also love how the pikeman is just standing there protecting the villager. Just not moving. And Nikov calls the GG. That was a masterclass from Yo. He didn't actually produce that many units, guys. That's what I want you to realize. He made 3 men-at-arms. He made 5 spears. He made 7 John Swordsmen. I mean, and that was all recent. I think he only made 2 fires. It was just Nikov just fully expected that he would see the forward dock or that Yo would never go there. And the sneaky fish did not work out for Nikov at all. And Yo just kind of, yeah, he played the perfect game for the Woo. Man-at-arms. Maybe Nikov looked at his base. Like, maybe he was greedy because his map was absolutely brutal with his golds on the front. That could be part of it. Like, this is such a bad... These are your only golds. They're all in the front right beneath the hill. But, I don't know. I'd have to ask him later. Either way, Yo up 3-1. And Yo just seems to be firing on all cylinders right now. Nikov needs to find an aggressive map. He needs to find a map. Maybe that doesn't incorporate as much water because he hasn't done too well in the water maps today against Yo. And a lot of those maps are remaining. But he has to win 3 straight now to make the finals. Well, here we are, guys. And I could pretty much guarantee you that Yo is going to Tower Rush. You could pick Teutons for other things. They're great against monk civilizations and resisting the conversion. And they're good in late game on Arena, don't get me wrong. But if you just boom with Teutons against Bohemians, I think the Bohemians are better. And I believe Yo is going to try a Tower Rush here and try and break down these walls and go in. And if he is to do that, the golds, the stones, even the berries, everything here for Nikov is actually great against a Tower Rush. People want me to put subs on the line again. Let me see how many villagers he puts on wood, and then I'll and then I'll make the bet. I'm such a coward. Nanohertz, thanks for the 37 months. Yeah, again, I could be wrong, but I really don't think it's a good play to do anything else but trust here. Okay, Yo's going to try chicken funnel. Now, let me give you some chicken funnel facts. It is easier to chicken funnel if you use diagonal gates instead of straight gates. So this is this new thing, which will probably not be in the game much longer. But they made the chickens so you can't push them in towards the TC. But if you building foundations and try and bump the chickens up against these foundations, they will sometimes they will try and get to the other side and then path in towards your TC. But yeah, if you do it with a flat gate, CEO's not a chicken funnel expert yet. They actually stop. So you need one diagonal gate in it. And it actually will work. Yo's like, what? I saw this for other people. Why is this not working? I've been practicing and studying the chicken funnel myself. I am getting a PhD in chicken funnel. Yeah, it's not working, Yo, because you didn't build a diagonal gate. So you build a diagonal gate and it's doable. Sometimes it just doesn't work with straight walls. Yeah, he thinks they patched it, true. He thinks they fixed it. Now, eventually you can delete these walls and the gates and you get like 99% of your wood back because you barely built it. But okay, there goes one chicken. And wait, there goes another chicken. But I don't think that's because Yo did anything. I think that's just because the chickens do wander. They have a wandering range. And there it goes. 65 food. Dead. And another chicken's coming through. And oh, that one's really going. Bam, there he goes. Now, I've talked about this. I think on other maps, it's a waste for the most part. And I'm glad they didn't immediately remove it. If they even figure out how to. But I think on this map, it's totally worth it. because you have nothing else to do in Dark Age. And you don't need to scout because your opponent has walls. It's not like you can see their strategy anyways. Nikov's not doing it. Nikov's just going to build the mill. So Nikov's eating the chickens as the gods intended. But, I mean, Yo's still got 5 chickens here that he can't take because they're not funneling. Oh, wait, that one is. Okay, there we go. There it goes. On the way. Survivalist does it on Arabia. Yeah, I know, he does. And then he never scouts his opponent's opening, and then he's super late with his feudal age time, and then he has no information whatsoever. He's done it against me, and I'm laughing the whole time. And then I show up, and I attack his little palisade wall, and his scout that was about to go to my base runs all the way back home to go attack the scout so I can't ruin the chicken funnel. It's so freaking funny. But I think it's kind of fun that you can do it, by the way. Like, the pros and cons of it on Arabia are nice. That's why I like it. But it looks like it seems to work. Yo is not going Tower Rush. So he is going Fast Castle. If he was going Tower Rush, he would have been up a long time ago. Okay, there's always that one chicken which is way more stubborn than the others. Anyone who knows chickens knows. There's always that one freaking chicken. They've been waiting for this guy to die for years. And he just refuses to. Okay. So it seems like his starting range is just a little bit too far away from that gate. Because you can only push them a little, like 2 tiles. And then he's not going to get pushed anymore. I think it's 3 times. Yeah, look, he won't get pushed anymore. And then he'll wander back. Yep. So he needs that gate to be a tile closer. Wait, Yo's trying again. No, don't push it that way, Yo. Nope, not going to work. That's not going to work. He's just going to stop there. Somewhere there's a dev, and he's like, yeah! He's like, take that, Mr. Yo. This is how the game intended. I know devs were not happy about it. Like, imagine putting some time into creating this new thing, and then people create a funnel right away. People are like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. How long does Yo keep trying this? It's only 65 food at this point. It's not actually that helpful. You can just farm. But it's probably not worth it to walk out and eat it now. This chicken might survive forever. It's personal, true. It's all about sending a message to the rest of the chickens. And they're both going Fast Castle. Yo will have to delete this to get wood eventually. So I think the chicken might actually survive here, guys. And yeah, chicken survives. Wait, no! 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 Yo, let him live! Oh, dude, that was totally unnecessary. You're just going to build your blacksmith and your market out here. That was totally unnecessary. I feel like that chicken deserved to live. All right, well, I mean, it's actually pretty smart. He's going to build his buildings. My game is lagging. What? Was it a game drop? But here we go. We're back in. Sorry about that. I've reported that a bunch of times, but I don't know if there's any solution to that, guys. Waiting for data from game server. That just has to mean that, like, there was a momentary lapse in my connection to the game, or the game sending it to me. I know other people sometimes have that issue as well. But we'll just catch up to live time again. And then we can talk about their builds. It is actually just going to be the full boom approach from Yo, which is not what I was expecting. And maybe Yo actually goes monks. But it feels like it's not going to be that from him. We see this deleted again. Hopefully the game doesn't disconnect on me. See what I mean? It's like, and now we're fine. It's super weird. Nikov's got a stable. So Nikov may be thinking about adding some scouts. And now we got villagers from Yo in the middle. And it is going to be... Well, it was going to be an attempted monk play here from Yo. But he was never expecting the Bohemian player to go scouts. So that's actually pretty smart. Because a lot of the time, when you're up against Bohemians, they can always out-monk you. But when you pick Teutons, their units resist conversion. So I like the fact that Nikov has added the scouts as defense against this. Guys, if he had some villagers close by, I wouldn't mind Nikov just towering these monasteries right now. I think it's an underrated play, but you have to do it immediately. Like right now, you build a tower, and then you have the tower, and then you can wall in the monasteries, you have the scouts. Yo is going to lose his scout there. And Yo just never expected scouts from Nikov. So now he adds the barracks. But he can just keep massing the monks in those monasteries. Those two vills are trapped. But I think he could be kind of okay here. Nikov patrolling around with the scouts will add his own monks. Maybe just to convert the villagers here. And, oh, wow. Yo is actually able to pop the monk into that little spot. And now the scouts have to run away. And this is a tough spot for Nikov right now. Oh, and he's going in with the scouts, actually, which could work. Oh, he loses 2 scouts to the conversions, though. That's got to be frustrating for Nikov. If he had the light cav upgrade, that might not happen, but he never got light cav. And now Yo has 2 scouts, and he has the spears, and he has more monks coming. And this could really be strong. So I just don't know, can you go Atonement in Nikov's position to convert the enemy monks like you would in a normal monk war? I don't know if it's worth it. Nikov's scouts get quick walled out. They bump into a spearman. And there's not a lot of space for these scouts to roam around right now. Very easy for the light cap player to have issues. 2 monks for 2 scouts isn't too bad. Well, yes and no. It's actually easier to produce 2 monks than it is to produce 2 more scouts. That's the weird little detail there. Like, Nikov can produce monks all day, but what he doesn't have is he doesn't have the food eco to produce more light cav. And Yo doesn't have a stable. Like, Yo getting 2 scouts and not having to invest into a stable and the food to produce the scouts is huge. So I actually think it's a really good situation for Yo. But it's tricky. It's just all based on how the builds go. There's Atonement now for Yo. So once he's atoned, he'll be able to convert the enemy monks. But there's going to be Siege as well, and Mr. Yo ready to go. He's got 3 relics, and he'll start to ram his way into Nikov's base here. Nikov getting chemistry, which will take some time, and he's dropping archer ranges in the back. He thought about it on the front, so he's waiting for hand cannons, guys. So the monk numbers are actually a really big factor now, because as that light cav gets converted, oh man. It was quite a long conversion there. Nikov hesitated. But, yeah, you need the hand cannons to be massed up. They can kill monks really quickly, but monks can't convert them if the numbers are there. And Yo knows about it. If Yo's playing like he's played the rest of this series, when he breaks in here, he's going to send 1 unit and, like, look around. I guess he can't do that if there's monks. But seeing the university or seeing the archer ranges, either one should tell him what this is going to be. He did ram an opening into the base. He does see the light cav now. And Mr. Yo clowning here. Is it John Slow or Mr. Yo? Or Mr. Slow? He doesn't see the ranges yet. I think you need like 10 hand cannons minimum, but it's really hard to have patience in these scenarios when your base is getting pushed. Nikov snipes 1 vill. That's risky. He could lose more light cav. Oh, he snipes both of them. Gets away. Yo might get redemption now. Still doesn't see the hand cannons. Is just simply chasing this army with his scouts. Now he sees a range. You don't change anything. You just make more monks. You just make more monks if you see the ranges. Having that knowledge is nice. Oh, hand cannons hop out. He knows now. Mangonel gets sniped, and hand cannons right back into TC. Oh, dude, that was sick from Nikov. That was sick. That was really sick, but not with 4, Nikov. Also, scouts come in. I think they might have sniped another monk there. I think devotion is needed for Nikov. But it's a lot of food and golds. And, okay, there it is. Yeah, you have to devote before going up against monks these days. Everyone wants more games. Will we get them? Devotion isn't in yet, Nikov. Oh, he snipes the monk and he goes right back inside. Again, that's so sick. And now he's back out again. And Yo wasn't ready, and now he's back inside. You know what happens next? He's back out again. He's gonna go shoot. And then he's gonna go right back inside. No, Devotion is in. He's killing them. He's killing them. He is killing them. And sure, he loses a couple hand cannons, but monks, man, are 100 gold apiece and really hard to control compared to the gunpowder. Nikov, good job there. It's not over yet. Nikov. Okay. Really wants to kill that ram. Yo just needs to get a castle down in the forward position here. I feel like I'm watching John Slow versus like Dark Noob or someone right now. I've seen this monk play into forward castle so many times from John Slow. TC from Nikov is interesting. That's just going to be castled, I think, if he doesn't take this map back. But there's still not a lot of monks from Yo. It's still only 2. And he's going to add more. Bloom is on the way for Yo, but where is this castle actually going to be able to go? Here come the villagers. Does he have enough monks? Nikov is sniping the monks down instantly. Oh, no! Nikov's hand cannon play was perfect, actually. Is absolutely perfect. That was such a good way to get out of this situation, man. And I don't think it was the original plan, by the way. I just think he realized that Light Cav wasn't going to work anymore. Nikov needs a ram right now. You ram down these monasteries. Take those relics. And then the fast imp from Yo, I mean... he's going to drop 3 more monasteries. He wants a forward castle, but that's like, feels impossible. But I guess you go imp. And then you hope to use your monks to reclaim the middle. Meanwhile, Nikov's eco is cooking. It's 3 town centers. He will get the relics. And Yo actually canceled all of the monks that were in queue in the middle monasteries here. Alchemist says this is happening because Yo didn't funnel the middle chickens. No, it's not. This has nothing to do with the chickens, dude. This has nothing to do with the chickens. So, back go the relics, back towards the monastery. Guys, what was Yo's biggest mistake there? Yo's biggest mistake was being aggressive with his monks. Like, literally, you don't win the game based on converting a couple of hand cannons. You win the game based on massing your monks up more and getting the castle forward. The castle next to the monasteries, it's a completely different game. So Nikov did a good job doing the little hand cannon tricks, but Yo should have just backed up. Just wasted the monks. But that's because Yo's an aggressive player, typically, and he wants to be active with his army. And there's this feeling that you need to get kills all the time. But monk players aren't about that life. Monk players are just about the trebs. I think that was Yo's biggest mistake. I think this is a very winnable game for Yo, assuming he just plays patient there. But when you're low eco, you feel like you need to do more damage, and Nikov was about to break through this gate, was thinking about it anyways, but he snipes the monk there. And Nikov should be able to get all those relics back to his base, and he's on the way to imp now. Now, Bohemians do get heresy. I think that is the next call here for Nikov. Because the opponent's going to have more monks. The opponent's going to have more range on the monks. That 1,000 gold for heresy feels really expensive. But it's a game changer against the monks, because you can actually run in and engage against them with no risk. And then your opponent's not gaining an army from you. Hold up. Yo might convert that ram. Let's see if Nikov has faced this situation enough. Heresy is a tech that certain players will easily get. It's just based on the experience. I think it has to be. It's so worth it. He sees more monks. It's got to be heresy. And it will be. I trust in Nikov. I trust it. No, we're engaging against the monks with no heresy. Is it still fine? Is it still fine? Well, he still gets a lot of kills. He still kills a lot of monks. There weren't that many hand cannons converted. Luckily for him, those weren't imp upgrades yet, so that's why Nikov took the fight. And now he drops a castle here to protect the front of his base. So that's actually completely fine for Nikov. It was the last chance he really had at taking engagements against those monks. And now the light cav comes in. Oh my goodness. Who's the guy who said that Yo loves Arena? Yo looks like he's never going to want to play Arena again after this. He's trying, but losing more and more monks. And Nikov is now an imp. Nikov has a 25 villager lead. And Nikov can continue to produce the hand cannons. Nikov's economy looks perfect here. Mason says I'm here. Hey, respect for saying it even though it's not looking good. Just because someone's losing on a map doesn't mean they don't like the map. So your point might still stand. I think Yo is very close, but his window has closed. Or maybe it's like still slightly open. Ever so slightly, but it's about to be closed. The Ram is doing its thing against the Trebuchet. And there's units in there. I don't know if Nikov remembers that. Yes, he does. And the Ram just escorted those hand cannons right to another monk kill. So Yo has 0 monks. He has 8 more in queue. Monk, and more monk is the plan. But he's not going to have the mass to be able to convert now. And Nikov will have bombard cannons coming to push this as well. I still think, though, heresy is not a bad investment here. Because you have all this gold and your opponent's just going to be getting conversions and that's it. Doesn't have the 1k gold now, though, because he's spending so much on everything else. Nikov's going to stay alive here, guys. There's a castle from Yo. Nikov's whole philosophy against monks is just make more army and kill the monks. The people who switch sides, they're cowards. Let them go. Let them switch sides. We'll kill them later. Trebuchet's gone. Castle for Yo. Denied. Okay, it's up. He got it up. For now. Monks hop out to keep this castle up. For now. It's almost down. It's not looking good. In fact, it's looking very, very bad. And the castle's gone. Well played from Nikov, and Yo calls the GG. Was Nikov about to kill his own bombard cannon? Not important. Nikov won 3-2, but I can't help myself. Let's just look. This shot here. Is that going to hit his own bombard cannon? I think it was. He might have been attack rounding himself there by mistake. Anyways, I just think Nikov adapted so nicely there. And I want to go back to it, right? Because, like, the Vil count's not the key here. The monk count and the imp timing is the key. And you know, with chemistry investment, 500 resources, hand cannons, tons of food, tons of gold, you know that imp will never be in for Nikov. He's already on stone thinking about the forward castle. He's already on stone thinking about imp. His resources are rising. I think that the first time that engagement happens, you just back up. And if you back up, he has to come to you. All your monks are reinforcing properly. You have 10, 12, 14 monks. You can get the castle here. So I really don't think you actually have to engage against this. I think he just made life very, I don't want to say easy for Nikov, because that was impressive that he did this. Maybe he wasn't expecting that play from Nikov. That's probably part of it. But it really just comes back to that fight for me. Because his res were looking good for him. His res was looking good for the castle. And then he just lost every fight and they fall back. So now, if not for the hand cannons, I don't really know what Nikov does there. Because you can't go for your own monks. The light cav wasn't working anymore. You could maybe play guard tower defense. Some people would say that. but then you just still die to the Treb push. So I think the only way back from Nikov there was actually what he did. So well played. And we got 2 more maps to go, hopefully. 72 to 34 kills. Yo at 18 conversions. And yeah, the economy is so much stronger there for the Argentine. All right, so if you have any questions on Regicide Rumble, really good time because we just have some deer pushing here in Dark Age. We have Saracens for Yo, which, as I've said, he's done many times before. There's always a lot of mind games involved when Yo plays with the Saracens. He likes to go to gold. He likes to play archers, but then you're like, how many archers does he make? What Yo likes to do sometimes is stop after 2 archers, buy a bunch of food, and then go into scouts. Or maybe he's buying the food to go Castlage. You never really know. There's a lot of possibilities. And then Nikov has gone for the Italians, which I wouldn't have expected. But if you went Berbers here, then Saracens are just maybe the better camel civ. So that wouldn't be a matchup I liked. And Mayans can be awkward to play. So I think Italians, you can hit the timings, which is how Nikov beats Mr. Yo. So you still, it's cheaper to go up to the next stage. Decent archer civ, decent cav civ. Good timing on things like ballistics if you play into crossbows. So Nikov has a better base, in my opinion, for gold access. Look at this. Gold, 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 stone. All just to the north of his TC. That's not counting this gold. That's not counting this gold. Yo's got gold, gold, and then all the other res that he really has accessible is in the middle. So normally it's kind of wood lines that I look at on this map. Maybe what happened is some of the golds and stones didn't generate close to Yo because he got the extra wood lines around his TC. They're a little bit closer. But considering it's Saracens and they normally rely on the gold, I mean, this gold is not even great. So we'll see how Yo chooses to play. Like, I don't even know if I would base my build around taking gold now. I might just go scouts and then take map control and adapt into the gold later. But Land Madness is a really tricky map to balance. I feel like no matter what version, there always could be some slight issues for a wood line or maybe a gold or something. Llama Drama is asking when is Regicide Rumble 6? It's literally this upcoming week. So it's Wednesday through Sunday. It's 5 days. The start time is 16 GMT every day. And there's 2 games a day. So the first 2 days, so Wednesday and Thursday, are the community days. So that's where you guys could show up and potentially get in. And it's like, community players. And then the Friday and Saturday is the pro day with four games, those 2 days. And then the final day is the snipers finals. So it's the players who sniped the most kings in the previous days. They get a game all together. And then there's the grand final, which is the winner of the previous 8 days, or 8 games, rather. They all are up against each other to see who is the ultimate winner. So, and I'll ask again, how many people here have never watched Regicide Rumble live? Probably a few of you, right? It'll be worth it, trust me. I know having some of it midweek might not be ideal for some of you guys, but it'll be, we got the big stuff on the weekend, of course, and all that stuff will hit YouTube eventually. It's sick. I promise you excellent entertainment if you show up, all right? It will be insane. What's up, Tuno? Says, no way, I've caught T90 live. How are you, mate? I'm good. I was literally just saying, it's so weird. I was literally just saying that Tuno wasn't here, so I wasn't doing well. And now you're here, and I'm doing great. Jack can attest to that. Archer opening from Nikov. Yo scouts this. Nikov just now headed over to the golds here. And Yo with the archer range. Did Nikov scout that? Nikov didn't. He saw the barracks, which is really weird. Normally you need to confirm what the opening is. But it's funny because Nikov's going to assume that Yo's on gold. But Yo's not. He's adding the market. So Nikov, he isn't aware that this is really Yo's best gold. And Yo using that cheap and juicy rated market. That's a weird way to say it. Sells the stone, buys the food, to be expected. But yeah, Yo's all about the mind games with this. I think Yo will be happy to play into a couple skirms, though, when he sees his opponent is on an archery range. And Nikov might actually do the same anyways. He just doesn't have the market to back it up. So pretty slow and steady so far. No crazy openings here. Not a lot of ways to do super early damage on Land Madness. It's more about mid-feudal and more about later stages of the game. Bradles is asking about Regicide Rumble civs. The simplified version of how Regicide Rumble works with civs is the lowest ranked players get to pick their civ first. And then they go down the list, right? So that's the simplified version of how the civs would work for each game. But we have it so each game has a random bans, which limit. That way it's not the same 8 civs every game. That way it's not like Mongols, Spanish, whatever civs you think are really good every single game. Oh, he's asking about this event? Oh, okay. Well, then ask me between the games. Ask me between the games. I thought he was asking about Regicide Rumble. I can't focus on the specifics of the question right now, then. I can easily explain that out of the game. Yo's on the golds. The skirmishers aren't exactly in the perfect position for Yo. He might lose a villager here to Nikov. It's really close, but Nikov also has to defend here. And now Nikov's like, that's where he's taking golds. Okay. Still hasn't really scouted the rest of Yo's base. He doesn't know, but he can assume the woodline's going to be there. And no kills yet, guys. Both 1 second of TC idle time. Everything looks pretty even right now. It is cheaper for the Italians to get up to the next stage. So, definitely something you need to keep in mind here. If it's even in feudal age, that could be slightly better for the Italians. I wouldn't expect it to be a big difference in what they do, though, because the Saracens always have the market to lean on. Ooh, look at Nikov here. Again, Sneakov, bro. He's so freaking sneaky. He's sneaking around, and Yo's like, wait a second, where's that army at? I don't see it yet. It just doesn't make any sense. He's looking for it. Nikov sees the other army was looking for him. Now Yo sees it. That's well played from Yo. To be able to track that. Maybe Nikov needed to get away. Maybe this sneaky move is not the play. But honestly, he's probably getting killed off anyways. So at least he's getting killed in Yo's base. And now Yo won't be able to counterattack as quickly. But that's still really good stuff from Yo. And those skirms are going to scale really well. So 2 kills. And probably 3 kills. Nikov down 3-2. He needs to win this. Will not be happy with the fact he hasn't killed a single unit yet this game. And he doesn't have this area scouted. But I think Yo can kind of sense. It almost feels like Yo is full vision right now. But it feels like he could sense, I'm not seeing an army over here. And now I could be exposed on this side. You could tell he was a little bit torn. He didn't know. Because there was activity from Nikov's scout on the other side. And maybe Nikov's army could have been nearby. And Nikov sneaks in. Kills the villager. And will try and run away again. But, I mean, if Yo can kill this army again, Yo's still probably going to take this trade, right? It's like, his army count's going to be so high in Castle Age. That's only 1 vill. That's not that big a deal. Carlos, this is the best of 7. So Yo wins this. He wins the semi. He goes into the final. We have another best of 7 after this, which should be a banger. That will be Hera versus Leary. And, I mean, the way I looked at this weekend is whoever wins the Hera Leary set, favorite to win the final. Kind of no question in my mind. I think in the next series, Hera's the favorite, but Leary... I would say world rankings right now, you have Hera 1, Leary 2. So it's just every time they do face, Hera seems to be at least 1 game better than Leary. So we'll see if that changes, but should be some really good action for the next couple hours. So it's cheaper for the Italians, but the Saracens find their way up a little bit faster here. And Yo able to sneak some archers here. Nikov with a nice save. Army counts even. Maybe it's time to move off the berries if you're Nikov and just switch mainly to farms, though. And you can wall to the edge, which Nikov has done. Yo did not actually do. It's harder for Yo. He'd have to wall around the rock this way, which isn't easy. Nikov's gold still exposed on the backside. Yo and Nikov both just going to be making skirms, it seems. Could open up the opportunity for some knights eventually. But they're both at the limit, and they're both committed to double range, so I don't think they're going to stop producing the skirms. As we talked about earlier in the day, skirms produce so fast right now. Everybody's making skirms. And I think that will be nerfed eventually. It's... Not only is it kind of a boring meta, but it's a little bit silly as well. It's one thing if it's a defensive unit, but it's like the key offensive unit at times in some matchups. And I think they tried. They were hoping that wouldn't be as dominant with like the introduction of Man-at-Arms, but or the changes with Man-at-Arms. But that's not really been the case here. Nikov's got to be like, are you kidding me? Like, how is he up faster than me right now? He actually gets a pretty good start to the fight there, though. That wasn't too bad because Yo got his upgrades and then Yo just looked away. Oh, hold up a second. Hold up a second. Archers from Nikov, obviously, if they're anywhere else, they just die to skirms. But the sneaky move from Nikov, and Nikov, let's go. I didn't think there was a lot of opportunity for him here. He looked like he was rattled at home. But he now has his own skirms to match the skirms from Yo. And he took Yo completely off of wood. He will pay a price for this. He will lose these crossbows. But I think that is worth it. That's a big raid. The whole game has been sneaky from Nikov. The whole game. But also the whole game, he hasn't been fighting armies straight up. And you're going to have to do that eventually. This is where I kind of like Italians, though, because the cheaper ballistics is quite nice. But Nikov doesn't have a university yet, so he's really far away from ballistics, and Yo does already have ballistics on the way. So, get ready. Nikov will need to micro his way against the ballistic upgrade. 15 skirmishers for him. And universities on this side. I wonder, does Yo have any clue? You see he's over here on this stone, but does Yo have any clue? He must know that that's where Nikov's taking gold now, because Nikov moved completely off of this one. He might also assume that Nikov's just not going to take golds, because he's making primarily skirms. There he goes. And now Nikov should know ballistics is in, because that shot connected while he was moving, and he falls back. Just needs to wait 40 seconds. This is just how these two, the difference between these two. Nikov says, I'm going to go more army now. We're adding a third range. More army, more kills. Yo says, I'm chilling. Let's go for the second town center. Why does Nikov look like T90 plays these farms? Okay, well, first off, screw you. Second, because he doesn't need any more farms right now, and so the other farms were his first farms, and they expired first. So he sent those vills to wood. So, like, having more farms isn't needed. Maybe a couple more farms would be nice at a certain point here, actually, but he's basically spending all of his wood as efficiently as possible on military buildings. It allows him to make this much army. It allows him to also go for siege. This is what, like, the really aggressive players, if you want to be really aggressive and get crazy army numbers, you really just want as much farms to produce your vills and military from 1 TC, and then you stop there, right? But obviously, if your attacks aren't doing the damage, and then you haven't invested into the eco, then you end up having some real big problems. But I like Nikov's game sense here. It's so crazy, man. It's so good, but like, he knows he's winning this fight. He now knows he's winning this fight to a level where Yo is going to add something else. And so what does he do? He queues up crossbows that can help against that something else, which is going to be knights, which is what Yo is actually doing. So it's just excellent decision-making from him to mix that into the army. But Yo, still 2 town centers. 2 TCs, Bowsall upgrade is in, Horse Color upgrade is in, Wheelbarrow upgrade is in. Nikov might go too far here. He sees what he was suspicious of, but he needs to fall back now Oh, look at the different groups fire at alternating times here. It's actually pretty crazy you're able to do that in that moment there. And now Nikov falls back. And that's not too bad because he has the crossbowman there. Oh, he grouped up the units together. Oh, he just attack rounded himself. But I think he also attack rounded the knight, so it's not actually too bad. But not one for the highlight reel. I'm pretty sure he did just kill his own units. Yep. He did kill 3 of his own units. We're not going to focus on that because Nikov will message me later and say, why did you zoom in on that? We don't want that. Now the TCs come up for Nikov. See, now is when you're going to want some farms. But Nikov sending another sneaky army over. I think he actually sees the deer. Again, I don't even think he's thinking about how exposed the gold constantly is for Yo. Yo's army headed this way for a raid. Nikov does not see that, but might sense it. And now Nikov should know he's been spotted. Will he back away with the crossbows or not here? Yo garrisons. Nikov saw the garrison. Nikov sneaking through. Yo sneaking as well. 55 villagers for Nikov. 50 for Yo. This is super close. And yeah, the skirms find Nikov. And now the skirms find Yo as well. That's, again, very well microed from Nikov. The skirms just go after the skirms, and the crossbows will take care of the knight. But I think that means these crossbows are just running away. He's hoping Yo misses him. It's a close game, and it's really hard for me to call, guys, who's winning. I mean, you could argue it couldn't be closer right now. Yo's eco upgrades are slightly ahead, but he's behind in Vils and TC numbers. Nikov's scaling pretty nicely with crossbowman Mangonel, I think. Having to make a lot of knights with Saracens doesn't actually feel that great because they don't get Cavalier. But the knight's certainly going to do the job, and yep, Yo gets away with this army. A couple knights come over here to help out. And Nikov's just there again. He's just always there with crossbows. He's now there with a monk as well. And Nikov gets the conversion on the weak knight, unfortunately. But he also garrisons over here. And pushes away those skirms. I don't really know if Yo is slightly ahead. Like, Yo's just now dropping that third town center. I'm still kind of concerned for Yo's potential for gold long term. Once this gold is gone and this gold is gone, he needs the middle of the map. Nikov probably doesn't know how good he has it, but he's got the back stones and the back golds there. I like Nikov's TC setup because it really gives him a lot of vision anytime army's going to come through to his base. A TC over on the left side or even an outpost on the left side would accomplish some good things there too. Yo's still making some knights every now and then, but I think he might actually stop now that I say that. I think he's thinking about Imperial Age. And Nikov added a stable, so he's thinking of making knights. I don't hate knights and crossbows with the siege, but they're just trying to get a feel for what the other's up to right now. And Mr. Yo snagging what would be his first relic with that monk. Nikov sees that, though, so he can deny that. Oh, the Mangonel is also super exposed. Unless Yo kills the knight somehow. No. Army coming through for Yo. Looking to take a little bit of initiative here. Nikov, he's so lucky he's able to actually fit foundations in there. Because the unbuildable terrain is right there. But that's crazy damage control, and you can just see how good Nikov is with his micro here. But Mr. Yo as well, very nice. He's actually killing off so many of the crossbows. Nikov. You can wait for 2 seconds, and it's a disaster at this level. He was surely looking somewhere else. He wants those knights. He'll get the knights, but he loses the Mangonel, so those skirms can maybe survive. Imp is on the way for Yo. What? Saracens are insane. Like, Yo's playing great. But Saracens are just absolutely insane. He's behind in Vils. And he's made this many skirms. And he's able to click up to the Imperial Age all through that market. And he's 4 TCs as well. Twitch chat is calling GG, so that must mean the game is over. But Nikov, he's not aware Twitch chat called the GG, so I think he's going to still have some faith here because he's got a pretty big army. He's got some knights here to maybe kill off some skirms. He's got 3 relics. In the north, he can deal with that. Knights do get converted, but now the monks get sniped. Feels like this imp advantage for Yo is going to be pretty big here. A lot of this crossbow army for Nikov isn't accomplishing too much. Just clearing up that raid in the back. Knight there from Nikov. Sniping the Mangonel. Nikov maybe needs to use the market himself. And try and click up to the Imperial Age here. I'm kind of sensing a forward castle from Yo, by the way. This feels like a really good spot for Yo to castle if he has the stone for it. But he might also just opt for a defensive castle. Maybe towards the middle of the map. Maybe right next to this gold would be fine. Skirms, man. Skirms are just owning. Skirm, and more skirm. Just because it takes such big investment to make Cav to actually match skirmishers. And here comes Yo with the Vills. And there's a castle. Now, it's not on the TC, but it's on the hill, which is great for control of this area. Nikov will be stunned by that imp time. That's crazy Imperial Age time. Nikov has 3 relics. Nikov has 5 more Vills. That will probably end up going slightly ahead for Yo. Yo's completely out of position here. Like, Yo's got his army here. But he's got so much exposed eco on this side. Other players would have just placed a safe castle here. This is so risky. And Nikov knows he's about to feast. It's not beast mode, it's feast mode for Nikov. Here he goes. Monks are going down. Villagers are going down. Nikov could have his own problems, though. He still needs defense against these skirms. But, man, I mean, those were some unnecessary losses there for Yo. Yo just now gets the imp upgrades. Nikov's just going to toss TCs everywhere he can. Just to defend from these skirmishers, but that's a big group of skirms. And Yo has enough skirms to push this sneaky army away again. And a lot of Nikov's eco is idle. Treb will be out for Yo. We'll take down that town center, maybe take down the monastery. How is Nikov supposed to have a healthy eco when this big blob of skirms is just moving through his base right now? And just gives Yo time to cook. Feels so similar to game number 1. There were some different elements to it, but just the fact that Yo just hits the imp timing, gets to the trebs a little bit faster, and we never, except for that one moment, really look at his eco much. He uses these moments so nicely. What should Nikov do now? Well, he's hard committed to skirms, and so he should just continue to make skirms, and then eventually you could switch once you max out on what you've committed to. That's what Yo's doing as well, so... There's no potential to switch. You have to out-skirm, out-bombard cannon. That's a potential with the Italians. And then hopefully your eco stabilizes. Then you start to float some res. Then you can make other things. And so I think that's how you have to look at it. When you're under pressure and you're just like 10% or 20% behind in military, you just have to hope to recover with the numbers sometimes. You don't think of all the things that you can think of that you would do in Nikov's position. Think of the cost to make 4 of the building that produces that and get 2 upgrades on it, and then look at his resources and tell me if that's possible. If it's not, that's why he will continue and hope that bomber cannons can save the day. There's the stables now. So he'll think about Cav. It's just super high pressure all the time. Yo might have the time to go for a tech switch, though. But Nikov just taps out and calls the GG. He thinks he has no chance. Man, I mean, you want to see the fights happen a little bit more here as a viewer, I'm sure. But he's completely unraveled now, guys. He can't win this fight. His vills are super exposed here. His castle's starting to get trebs down. He has 200 food. He can't go Cav. If someone gives him 2,000 free food, then yeah. But there's no one that's going to donate those resources to him. And Mr. Yo just In an even game, Mr. Yo just went to Imp. He just went to Imp, super relaxed. And, I mean, what units did Yo make in this game? He made 87 skirms. He made 8 knights. He made 7 crossbowmen. It was just skirm and boom for the most part. Nikov never really had the food eco for, he never really had the food eco for knights. What Nikov did do this game, though, which I expected a lot more from, was I expected this siege to actually do something. He made siege, and it never advanced forward. I thought it was going to be skirm, crossbow, mangonel, all across the middle of the map. Like, how many mangonels did he actually make? He made 1. I think he just made 1 the entire game, and it never moved out. That's what he needed. To pressure that skirm play, you need your own siege. Now, that's a long way to advance out across the map. Yo also has his own siege. But that's really what... It's a much faster response to skirmishers than knights, because it's just 1 unit that could potentially change the fight. So, Mr. Yo moves into the final. Kind of expected. I think Nikov should still be really happy with the performance in this tournament, though. Losing to Mr. Yo 4-2. Still not a bad result. Mr. Yo will wait for the winner of Hera and Leary. And that semifinal, which is going to feel like a final, will be coming up next.